Welcome back. Let's dive in and have some fun and start crafting your re-engagement campaign. Let's start putting together the emails that we're going to send to people that for whatever reason have stopped engaging, have stopped opening and clicking your emails to see if we can't get them back. Now this campaign's pretty simple but pretty psychologically loaded as well. So I want you to pay attention to not only email type and structure, but I want you to pay attention to the conversational and relationally, psychologically charged subject line. So let's go in and look at this first part of this campaign. Now this is not an example, this is the exact campaign that we send at Digital Marketer. And I want to break down the campaign emails in a separate demo video, but right now I want you to understand the structure. Right? Remember all of these campaign structure videos are so that you understand the email types, the structures, the send frequency that you should be using when you craft these for your list. So the first email type, obviously a re-engagement email, and we should start to use that personalization again. But we should say something that a friend would say to another friend. I would say something like, "Hey Richard, is everything okay?" Now, if I said that to myself, people would probably start to question my sanity, but if I said it to another person named Richard, it'd be okay. In this case, if someone says that to me, the person who's most frequently going to say that to me is my friend, my family, my mom, right? Someone who cares about me. It's a general, or it's a expression or a phrase of concern. It's one that we're used to hearing, and whether we realize it or not, we see this phrase. It stands out in our inbox. So even if I've been intentionally ignoring you, there's a good chance that just the psychology behind the creation of this, the emotional attachment to that phrase we have as human beings is going to get me to open up the email. And we'll go through the email in a little bit, but just to kind of break down the nuances, the point here is I've noticed that you haven't opened or clicked on any of my emails in a while, and when you subscribed to my list, when you came to the list, I made a promise, a commitment to you to do this, this, and this, and I've continued my commitment. I want to make sure that nothing's changed on your end, that you're okay. Now, if you got busy or life got in the way, I totally understand, but I want to make sure that you know that I'm honoring my commitment. I'm following through on the promise that I've made. Let me know that you're okay. Click this email, right? Click this link. Go over here and check out this new blog post I just wrote, right? Something to get them to re-engage, to get them to open and click the email. Ideally both, right? One is good, both is better. Once they've opened or clicked, they're done. If we get them on this first email, consider them re-engaged and none of the rest of this campaign happens. Now, we're past the only one, the one campaign or the one series type that's actually manually triggered, and that's the segmentation. So re-engagement should be happening daily, based on the activity of your subscriber. Now, hopefully you're using an email service provider that makes that simple and that automation exists natively. If not, I urge you to figure out a way to create that automation in your business. This is the point where you're fighting for the relationship. And in real meaningful relationships, in true relationships offline and relationships that you have with your friends and your family, your loved ones, you fight for relationships. This is as much about going through the process as it is showing your subscriber that you're going to fight for the relationship, that you care, that you want them there, that you want them to follow through on whatever it is that they set out to do when they found you. So email 1, hey, first name, is everything okay? Email number 2, and we're going to wait a day in between these because this first few, they're really psychologically charged, and we want to give them time to open it and click it before, so we can still cancel the next email if they do re-engage. So the next one's a little softer, but it's a question. Is this still Richard's email? Right? Have you ever received that phone call or that text message? Hey, is this still Richard's phone? Is this still Richard Lindner? Is this still your name? I get that on email and text, or I used to, quite a bit, especially when I moved from one state to the next. This is a question that happens in real relationships all the time, especially if you've been out of touch with someone. Now, when I got that text and I knew the person, or when I got that phone call and I knew the person, it was usually someone that I'd known, that we'd had a real interactive relationship. Maybe we went to school together. Maybe we lived in the same neighborhood growing up. Maybe we worked together at a previous job and we just hadn't connected in a while. This is the appropriate phrase to say to someone if you're trying to reconnect and you used to connect all the time, but now you don't. And this is going to sound a lot like this first email. And we'll break this down, but the whole synopsis of the email is, I wanted to make sure that this is still the correct email address. You signed up for my newsletter a while ago, and I noticed that you haven't been opening or clicking or reading any of my emails in the past 30, 60, 90 days. Maybe you say 3 months. So I wanted to make sure that everything's okay and that I still have your best email address. If your email address has changed, go ahead and click here and let me know your new preferred email address so that I can continue to give you, the most up-to-date marketing information available twice a week straight to your inbox. Right? Whatever it is, you're now restating that value proposition, but giving them the ability to not only re-engage but update. Remember, we switch email addresses. 17% of people switching email addresses twice a year. Right? 30% once a year. That's a lot of people that maybe still have that email address and check it occasionally. Maybe they did forget about you. This is a great way to get them to update that email, and you move from unengaged to right in their primary inbox now. Okay? So that's your second email. Now we're going to wait a day and we're going to send them another re-engagement email. This time I want to ask them a question and get them to engage. I want to get them thinking about why or how I can help them. If I can get them thinking about how I can help them and how I'm an expert, then I can get them to reevaluate the benefit I bring to the relationship. So I would say, hey Richard, what has you stuck? And if it were a digital marketer, and again, we'll go into these, but I would go into saying like, owning a business or marketing online is difficult. You have to keep up with this and Facebook ads and email marketing and Google Analytics and conversion funnels and mobile marketing, and just list out all the things that are difficult. So what has you stuck? Maybe I can help. I notice that you haven't really opened or read any of my emails I've sent in the past 3 months. We've sent some really great free content. Check out the most recent stuff. Go here and maybe link over to the blog. That gives them a reason to dive in. But again, the psychology behind this particular subject line, what has you stuck, is to remind them that I can help them. That they engaged with me initially because they thought that I had an answer or solution to one of their problems, or that I would just share with them some stuff along the way that would be beneficial. I need them to remember that. I need them to do more than remember. I need them to acknowledge that. And that's why this subject line is written this way. So if no one, or if the unengaged subscriber does not open this email or click the link, we're going to wait another day and then send a different email, but still with the help tone. However, we're going to flip it this time. So instead of saying, how can I help? It's going to be, I need your help. Again, another really psychologically charged question. We ask friends for help. We ask family members and really strong acquaintances, maybe coworkers, but people that we have pretty strong relationships with. You don't typically go to a stranger and say, hey, can I have your help, please? Now, maybe, but not in most circumstances. So here we want to follow through and say, Richard, can you help, please? Now, I might not have engaged here, but if someone's asking for my help, I like to think I'm a compassionate person, I'm going to open that email and see, right? If I can help, especially if I know the person, maybe I've forgotten who it's from, I'm going to open that email and just to make sure. Most people are kind-hearted, good-natured, and truly want to help other people. This is a great way to trigger that emotion, to trigger that aspect of friendship in a relationship, to get them to open the email. And this email is not going to be all that dissimilar from the others. Now, here what I would do is I would leverage a different trigger. And I would probably do it here as well, but again, we're going to break these down exactly, not probably, in a separate video. Right around in here, I would ask them to go to participate in a survey. And I'm not a big survey guy. I don't really love surveys because I think that when you survey your list, you get the response of people who take surveys. Here, I'm not necessarily looking to dive into the data of what they say in the survey. If it's what has you stuck, all right, what's the biggest hurdle in business right now? What I want them to do is to make the micro commitment is to go over and actually take the survey, to tell me, to re-engage that way. So if they've opened, clicked, and taken the survey, I've now leapfrogged them from unengaged to now into an engagement campaign, which is incredibly powerful to go from you haven't opened an email in 30, 60, 90 days, 3 months, but now you're actively engaging with me and we're in an open dialogue. Maybe I've restarted the sales process from not from the segmentation series, but from the re-engagement campaign. And the same thing here, I need your help. I'd trigger the same thing. I need your help. Can you go here and take this quick 1 question survey and tell me, you know, what has you most concerned in your business right now, or what's the biggest hurdle you're having in you need to get over in your business right now? That's pretty simple, right? That's it. It's mainly the psychology behind the phrasing here that we're using different mechanisms, just like we've done in the other campaigns, to get them to open. I would definitely make sure that you're doing this in your email, but the next question is, what if it doesn't work? What if they didn't re-engage? You know, is that it? In most cases, for most companies, yes. That's it. They didn't re-engage. You have a choice to make. Either you stop emailing them or you put them over onto a separate list that you email far less frequently, or maybe you run them through a list cleaning service. Either way, in most cases, for most companies, that's it from a re-engagement standpoint. But I'd like to introduce you to a new scenario, right? A new scenario. And that is, I want you back, right? We've gone in and we've kind of phrased that those first 4 emails and really positioned ourselves as, hey, I've kept up my end of the bargain. This is valuable. Here's everything you're missing. You should care. Why aren't you engaging with my emails? Now, if they still don't engage, we have to kind of back off a little bit and switch from you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not doing this phrasing to really fighting for the relationship. I want you back. And that's kind of the next phase. So I thought this scenario was pretty funny, or this picture really painted this scenario well. He's picked her up. I want you back. The look in her face is not so much. So what does he need to do? He needs to win her back. He needs to win her back. You need to win that relationship back. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. We're going to break down phase 2 of re-engagement, the second campaign that you trigger, a campaign we call the win back campaign. So I'll see you in that next video.